Welcome to Heart Dialogue, where we believe that meaningful dialogues have the power to inspire, heal, and connect us on a deeper level. In this podcast, it's also about gathering and lifting a whole community up. Let us stand in response to people's cries and generate a current of dialogues for a better world. Let's HTHD.
Not going back to that bad habit again.
I'm really proud of you. Seeing you, how you transform.
Thank you.
The year is 1994, where this boy named Kevin was brought into the world. And from that instant, he knew he's a boy. Soon after graduating from high school, with the passion of helping others, from the participation of himself from the St. John Ambulance Association, he enrolled into nursing and has been an emergency department nurse for the past 7 years. Without further ado, let's HTHD. Okay, Kevin.
Hello, Candy.
Okay, how's life? Okay, sorry, I shouldn't ask about life. I think you probably don't have life, but maybe you can share how's life as an emergency department nurse.
Well, so far it has been good. I've just transitioned from a government hospital into a private sector. So at this point, it is more work-life balance in a sense, although the shift hours are plus minus the same. Yeah.
What do you mean by more work-life balance?
In the sense that you're at work, you go to work, you still have the normal amount of stress that you have at work, but at least you don't overexhaust yourself at work. And when you go home, you still have time to actually do what you want to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you share with us one very unique or unforgettable experience as an emergency department nurse?
There's quite a few, but one that I always when during interview they'll ask you what is your most significant case or what is your most significant memory as emergency department nurse, was one that I had a 30 days child coming into the department after the parents got into a car crash.
30 days?
Yeah, 30 days. Yeah, so the mom was actually carrying the baby, just like that in the car. And then as they got into a car crash, the baby was held very tight by the mom.
Oh my God.
It was a flight and fight sort of a reaction. But the baby ended up suffering brain damage because of the mom tight squeeze and also the mechanism of hitting a car, right? So you know how our head would jerk back and forth?
Yes.
In a car accident. So the baby's head actually had that same movement, but in the mom's arm. Yeah, so the baby in the end came to our side, collapsed, had to be intubated, meaning put a tube into the throat to help breathing. And then we did a scan, the brain scan. Yeah, it's very bad.
So did the 30 days child manage to live?
No.
On?
Yeah.
How was the parents?
Devastated. They blamed themselves.
Yeah.
Most of the time, and they would. But we had to comfort them and try to tell them to focus on the next thing, which is themselves after that,
It's, just from hearing the story point of, as a bystander, right? I can feel the emotion, so heavy. So as a nurse, how did you handle these emotions of yourself?
During that time, I was in a government hospital, so we had to quickly pack up our emotions and go to the next case. Thankfully, at that particular day, our senior doctor told the team, whoever who was involved in that case, to huddle up, to have a debrief. And the senior doctor actually said that we did all that we could, but it is unfortunate that the symptom and the prognosis is as such. So, and because that particular day, our team, we have quite a few young mothers as well in that team. You know, my colleagues, my doctors, my friends.
Yeah.
They are young mothers.
Parents. Yeah.
Yeah, they are parents. So it hit them very badly.
Definitely.
So it was a good debrief, and they even offered like therapy if needed to, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, peer support. So at that point of time, I mean, I'm not that bothered, to be honest. I'm not saying that I'm immune to it, but I'm not as bothered as my friends because they have their kids, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I do empathize with the parents, but as long as I know that I did my job, you know, yeah, I can live by it.
I'm just curious, like, right? Did taking deep breath helped with breaking the emotions?
It definitely does help no matter what, right? Different people have different ways of calming themselves or making them feel better after a traumatic event. And I'll call this a traumatic event because it is very traumatizing. So taking a deep breath will definitely help. And
I need to take a deep breath now.
It's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, I have not heard this story from you before. So, yeah. Okay, deep breath. Okay, so fast forward in this emergency department, right? I remember we first met was last year, August.
Yes.
Okay. When we first met, I remember you shared with me you've been through some form of financial difficulties.
Yeah, I did.
Do you mind share how do you find yourself in this financial difficulties and how this actually impact your self-esteem and your overall well-being?
So this was like COVID years, right? We weren't able to go traveling and weren't able to actually go back home as well. So although there were many incentives given by the government, but a lot of times I tend to use those remuneration by buying things that I want or buying things that I like. And also at the same time, I was studying as well. So the money goes into study, and I had to do up my dental as well. I got very bad dental record. Don't track me.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same here.
So from that, I went into a downward spiral, you know, with credit card debts, and that sort of took a toll on me in the sense that I always thought that I can overcome it.
Yeah.
Right. But in the end, it was too much to handle.
What was your thoughts at the back of your mind, right? When you decided you want to swipe the credit card?
My thought
in buying things,
when I want to buy things, when I swipe the credit card, my head was that I will have a certain amount of money coming in, maybe such as my bonus will be coming in later that month or in the next few months. And then my head will be like, okay, I can put into installment and then I will be able to survive, right? But because my amount has went up to a certain amount that I couldn't put up fully, right? And I'm only paying like the bare minimum. So as when the credit card bounce to the next month, and then there's going to be the charges and everything. So it all keeps piling up. And then even with bonus, sometimes it doesn't cover everything. Yeah.
So just summarize a little bit, like at the back of your mind, because you know that you are getting fixed pay. So you were kind of like comforting yourself that, oh, it's okay. If I spend this amount of money, next month I'm going to earn back with the amount of bonus. Even if this month negative is okay, I can still pay back.
Yeah.
It just compounded. It has a compounding effect.
Yeah, correct.
Even the debts and...
Yeah, correct.
Can I say that the habits also kind of form in that way that maybe it's hard to change immediately?
It definitely needed a wake-up call, you know, and that's why I was very keen to meet you. Knowing my situation was as such, I told our mutual friend, hey, you told me your friend is in financial advising, and like, just let's make an appointment. Let's just meet up or casual meet up or something like that. And she was like, yeah, sure.
But what really wakes you up? Yeah.
What really woke me up was that I couldn't sleep, at times. Yeah, because of the amount of debt that I have. Yeah, and it was
like legitly, even after your overnight shift.
Even tired. Okay, so night shift I will still sleep, but then it's like more like after a busy day shift, then you have time to go back and relax.
Okay.
And then as you want to unwind, and then sometimes the thought will rush in.
Yeah.
Like, what if I don't have enough to pay? What's gonna happen? And then the overthinking comes in, right? That's why I cannot sleep.
Wow. I kind of understand your situation because I has been in financial debts before, right? Like it's exactly at the moment when you relax. 很衰的. It's exactly when you relax, right? The thoughts came in.
Yeah.
It's just like there's this sound telling you, hey, you haven't settled this amount.
Yes,
you have this debt and
exactly.
you better pay it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then on the other hand, you were like, how am I going to pay it? What are the steps that I need to do? How should I start to change my current situation, right?
Yeah.
But I gotta say that it really takes a lot of courage from your side to admit the fact that I need to change.
Or I need help.
Yeah, correct. To seek help, because I also met a lot of young clients that they rather choose to ignore it. I don't see it means as if nothing happens, right? Just continue this vicious cycle. So I would like to maybe just understand a little bit from emotional point of view. How do you feel about yourself when you were at that situation?
I have always had a lack of confidence in myself for the longest time, right? Ever since I was young. So that also has a compound effect, so like piling up effect, from young and then towards my study life and then our work life. So although I can be like very confident at work, because that's the thing that I know, right? I'm doing it every day. So those are the things that I'm confident at. But then when it comes to like personal confidence outside of work, I have that self-deprecating effect on myself, that criticism on my own and making myself feel worse at times.
Have you wondering why would you have such thought?
I always thought that it was it came from my background with my family. Yeah.
Okay.
And being in an Asian family, they don't teach you how to love yourself, right? And I was never exposed to that kind of mentality.
Yeah. Also, could it be because of like looking at your peers around you, they were generally doing okay or better? And
I would say with peers, I have people that are very supportive of me, and different people have different ways of self-care, self-love. So I do admire those that can actually or are happy with themselves, right? But for me, although I acknowledge their happiness, but I cannot do it for myself. Yeah.
Or rather, you didn't know how you should start. Yeah. Before we delve into that, right? Since you mentioned about the relationship with family, I mean, only if you are comfortable. I mean, you did share with me, but I will leave it to you if you would want to share. But, now that you look back, right? Because I also understand that you have kind of had a dialogue with your parents about the issue. And now that you look back, right? Have you thought like how this relationship with the families has contributed to your financial struggles, or I would rather your self-esteem?
My dad also has a financial issue as well back then. And it was very similar to what I had. My mom always tells me that I shouldn't do things that that can relate to my dad, like because my dad is a drinker, so don't drink, right?
Okay.
And then when it comes to financial decision as well, sometimes she say, "Oh, don't buy this, don't buy that, because you're gonna owe the bank even more." And then I'll be like, "Yeah, I know, I'm an adult, right? I know how to make decisions, right?" But turns out, we tend to become what we say we won't.
Yeah, like the more we avoid, actually the more we tend to become that version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather of rationalize or trying to make sense of why we shouldn't do that. But by just merely avoid, right? Actually, it doesn't solve problem, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It didn't.
Yeah. So being through this journey, what kind of steps, right, did you take to solve your credit card debts? Or how long does it, or maybe we can, maybe you can share like how long did you take to actually solve the credit card debts?
It sort of took me, so we met each other in August, right? So I sort of got it settled by earlier this year, maybe around February.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
January, February. So, like I said, I have bonuses coming in, right? So, with fixed amount coming in, I know how much I'm expecting. And with your guidance back then, so cutting down on unnecessary things such as Grab, right? And also eating out.
Yeah, I remember Grab. Yes.
I remember because the first time I went to meet you, so I took Grab, and then you were like, "Huh, you took Grab from Tampines?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Well, yeah, I was gonna be late, so I don't want to be late." And then she's like, time management." And I was like, "Shit."
Yeah, time management. Because even now, I'm trying very hard to manage my time as well. Because Grab is always, it seems faster, right? But actually, it's not. Actually, it's
plus minus
around the same.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just the emotion when we feel rush.
And also the promises you make, right? Yeah. So you said to be there at a certain time, and then you still get caught up with doing preparation or something else or yada yada. And then you're like, oh man, I'm late. I can't make it if I take the bus or MRT. Let's just book Grab. Yeah.
I also remember you were sharing with me like, it's hard for you to say no to join your friends outing.
Back then, yeah. In a way, I was a people pleaser, right? So I tend to want to, especially my good friends, you know, people that I care about. I'll be like, yeah, okay, let's do this, let's do that, right? Without giving a second thought about it. But I also learned to actually start to say no, to some of the things. If I can't make it or I don't want to, you know, just for the sake of my own time, right? I'll just, I can't make it today. Let's just meet another time. Yeah.
How do you feel when you say no?
Last time, very bad.
Why?
I felt guilty, you know, like I rejected my friend, like they want to hang out or they want to catch up.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like it is more giving myself that space that I need and respecting my own body. What does my mind need? Right?
Yeah.
It's rest or it's my own time. So by saying no, I feel okay now. You know.
Yeah, the power to say no as well. And also relate back to what you have said earlier on, like it's hard for you to say no to join your friends outing.
Yeah.
I would say that actually our relationship with money, right, is always emotional.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you agree, right?
I agree.
Although we see like the amount of money, it's just a number, but it's actually not number. It's not about a number, but it's always about emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you care about your family, your parents, you would spend for them. Even if you need to borrow from the bank, you will go and do it. If you need to take a loan from a bank, you will do it for them. Yeah, like if your best friend jio you out to travel, you definitely will go.
Yeah.
Even if knowing that, maybe I don't have much left in my bank already, but I will still do that. It's all emotion. Yeah, I think what you have done right is that you definitely settled this issue from emotional point of view. And when you start to love yourself more, you will know that actually by prioritizing myself first is much more important than pleasing others.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to feel good.
Yep.
So what would be if you were to share, right, what exactly the steps that you have taken to come out from the credit card debts? Because I'm sure a lot of youngsters, they are facing the same difficulties as well. They don't know how they should start or what they should do.
I did exactly A to Z from how you taught me.
Yeah, maybe you can share the A to Z.
I think the very first thing that you taught me was that the very first time you told you we met each other was that download this app, write down and key in everything that you have spent on, your food, your MRT, whatever 10-cent sweet you buy also you put inside.
Okay. I didn't know I was that strict. Okay.
You were not strict, but you were like, do this so that you know how much you're spending. And then we can sort of tabulate how much you need in a month. And then you can tabulate on whatever savings that you need or how much you can put aside, that kind of thing. So it's more of like budgeting, right? As you say. So put a budget to our monthly expenses, and then from then on we take it from there on how we can manage the debts and also the future of my financial issues.
Yeah. The reason why actually I shared with you to download and do the income and expenses, right? It sounds like a broken recorder because every financial consultant will tell you like, oh, do your income and expenses, spend within your means. But actually the real logic is that clarity breeds success. Because we are trying to let our mind, or conscious mind, knowing that, seeing is believing. This is the amount that I'm spending right now, the exact amount, not by just thinking, oh, I think I roughly spend 1,000. But no, when you count all the subscription, your Netflix, your whatsoever, YouTube, everything all in, probably 1,500.
Yeah, it will amount to a certain number, and then you feel like that's not right. But then again, if you're doing it diligently, that's the amount that you're spending on a monthly basis. And from then and there, you can see which area you can cut back, which area you need to prioritize more, things like that.
So you sort of like form a habit afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like create an urgency. Hey, Kevin, cut down, because it proved that, you have spent quite a percentage in your Grab expenses.
Yeah.
Okay, other than this, right, what have you done right? How do you allocate your finances every month? Because you were saying that month in, month out, right? How do you allocate your finances, your money?
So I open up multiple bank accounts. I have small amount of money put into different accounts and then just like disappear. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't think about it. I'm poor, I'm broke, right?
Same here. I'm poor.
I'm poor, I'm broke. Okay. I only have $300 left for the month. Okay, use it wisely. Okay, not 300, exaggeration.
Okay. So if you don't mind sharing, right, like which account for what? How many accounts did you open? Right. I remember you opened up a lot.
Yeah, I did. So I tried I went to Standard Chartered. There was a high yield savings account, and I went to HSBC. There was also another high yield savings account as well. And then I opened up CIMB as well. And currently at that point in time, I also had like 2 bank accounts. One is when my salary comes in, which is in DBS, and the other one is in like UOB. So yeah, total I have like 5 accounts after I open everything. And then you were like allocating a certain amount into emergency fund, and certain amount into a long-term goal, and then a certain amount should be kept for a savings. Yeah. And then another one can be put into short-term goal as well.
Your traveling, your travel funds as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So after came out from this spiral debt issue, right? Now that you look back, what is your takeaway actually from this whole journey?
My takeaway from this whole journey, I feel it's about taking accountability on my own actions, right? And not beating myself up too hard, right? And
what do you mean by not beating yourself too hard?
Because we're all human and we all make mistakes. So as I said, I overthink sometimes. So I tend to be a little bit harsh on myself. And that's not good in the long run. So by not being too hard on myself, by accepting what I did, and by taking accountability of my actions, feeling better after that, right? Processing that emotions and that process of it will make me feel better. And it did make me feel better. coming to clarity of what happened and what is gonna need to be done, in order for me to actually pull through after coming out of that financial debt.
So what would be the one advice you would maybe just share with those who are actually facing the same difficulties right now?
The old saying, spend within your means and start saving young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And seek help as well.
Oh, yes, seek help as well. Yes, correct. If you are not sure, I mean, at this time and age, there's Google, there's YouTube. Everything is so accessible.
There's ChatGPT.
Yeah, that too. And also, sometimes Google and YouTube is there, but you sometimes need a little bit more push, right? And that's why there's always a financial advisor or a friend that can actually help you. Yeah,
Why do you think a person is matter? I mean, to have a human in helping you in this matter is important.
As you say, it brings the emotion to the plate as well. You have another person there, and then it makes you feel like if you are not doing a good job, you might let the person down as well.
I see.
Yeah. So for me, I really needed that person, and I needed someone to actually push me. Although I have friends who actually told me, hey, watch your spending and everything, but not enough for me to say, if I don't do it well, I will let them down, right? Because I know they're my friends and they're still going to be there for me, right? So it's not enough for me at a point in time to say that if I let them down, it's okay. They'll still be there to support me, right? So it takes another person, an outsider, someone that I don't know well yet, and then to say that if they know this side of me, which is the vulnerable side of me, which is my financial crisis, my debts, and my weak side, right? And then if I still continue on that path, I will let that person down, and it's even more shameful in a way for me.
I see.
Yeah.
So you drive yourself in a way, by knowing yourself enough, you drive yourself in your own ways, which is good.
Yeah.
And from Kevin's journey, right, what I hear, other than bringing seek help or trying to solve your financial issue, right, what I see here also about self-love. Like you started to practice self-love.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
Correct.
Mentally. What actually sparks you to start to have self-love, self-care?
So I also got out of a relationship last year. So losing a second another part of mine early last year. So I was at a very depressed moment, I guess. Yeah. I don't want to throw diagnosis out, just like that. Okay. It was a downfall for me. It was like I was feeling down. Okay. I'm not
one of the
feeling down. Dark moments.
Dark moment
in my life.
Okay.
So besides not having a partner and then not appreciating myself at the same time, I figured I needed to do something, in order for me to get out of that continuous loop of going deeper and deeper down. Yeah. And trying to pull myself out of it.
So what have you actually done to start loving yourself again?
I started to go to the gym. Yeah. Spend more time with myself, I guess.
Me time.
Yeah, me time. And it's not about going to the cinema alone or that kind of thing. It's more like just being alone, processing my thoughts.
Can you share more about processing your thoughts? Yeah. What would you process and
how would I process?
For example, yes.
For example, let's say about my self-confidence or my body, right? I wasn't happy with what I have become, right? With my body and all. So I decided to go back to the gym, which I have subscribed for the past 7 years, but I never go.
Yeah, just paying the rent.
I am giving charity, know. Anytime Fitness, you got my charity for the past 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was one of the expenses that I was reluctant to actually stop as well. Because I know I will need it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
at least you didn't stop.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So I start back gym, going back to the gym, interacting with my friends, at gym, before this, they would go to gym themselves and I'll be like, hey guys, can we go to the gym together, trying to get that momentum going.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you find any changes after you hit back the gym consistently?
Oh, definitely. I definitely had a period of time where I feel very good. There was a high at that
Can you
point.
define the good? Like, what's
Like,
very good?
my outlook, towards my own life became better.
Okay.
Yeah. And like a lot of article and video said that if you go exercise, you're going to release endorphin, you're going to release a lot of hormones that will make you feel better. And that is actually very true. It's scientifically proven. And I'm telling you from firsthand experience, it is true. You will definitely feel better. And especially if you have people to go with, that will also boost a certain amount of self-confidence as well. And then by doing before and after picture comparison as well to see how much you have progressed at the same time.
Yeah, I read about an article saying that for people who have the symptom of depression, right, it's good for them to go out in the woods and have a walk or hit the gym, just sweat, right? Do you find that helps? Because you were saying that previously you had this depression feelings.
It definitely did help, right? And besides going to the gym, also like looking for people to talk to, that helps as well.
Like started to socialize around. Is it?
I do always socialize, but it's more of like heart-to-heart talk as well. With people that you trust. Yeah. Yeah.
So to have someone that you can trust and talk it out.
To have your personal confidant,
So other than exercising.
Yeah.
To have someone to talk it out and to process your emotion. So that's basically the steps that you cultivate in your self-love. Yeah, because I started gym more consistently since last year as well. Sometimes I really feel like I didn't want to go gym.
Yeah.
Well, I hate gym, man. Like, wow, so painful. And yeah, but the thing is that when I look at the mirror, right, when I look into the mirror, I just want to look at myself in the mirror and just tell her that, yeah, you did a good job. I think that's all the feelings that we want, and to feel like we have achieved something and we are capable of achieve something. And if we able to overcome this, right, I mean, the rest of the day or the rest of the things we are actually capable of doing, overcoming as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good to hear that.
Like you shared today, if you can't do anything at the gym, just show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like today, wow, really, man, I was like so rushing. And looking at the clock, right, I left like 30 minutes. I was like, should I or should not? I should not go to gym, but past few days I went back to hometown, right? I eat a lot, I drink. Wow, just fuck it, I just went. 15 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
At least 15 minutes. I mean, that's, because I went to this conference in US, right? It says that, we always says that, just be 1% better every day. But have we thought about how much is 1% every day?
And what does that equivalates, right? How do you count 1%?
Yeah, because I have client last week, she told me, 1% like a lot. I said, no, if you count 1% is 15 minutes a day only. So that 15 minutes, did you spend it to swipe TikTok, swipe videos, or do you take it to do reading or to feed your to feed yourself mentally, emotionally, or spiritually? Do you go to gym 15 minutes? I think it's really enough to sweat. Yeah, so I just keep telling myself, okay, 15 minutes. If I don't have time, 15 minutes. Just be focused. Yeah. So back to this topic, right? I was actually also quite curious. Did you find the relationship between whatever you have just been through, right? Like self-love, making yourself feel better, and how this actually helped you in terms of managing your finances thereafter. Have you thought of this relation?
Not yet, I guess. At this point, I am more conscious with what I spend and going back into, or not going back to that bad habit again, right? So be more self-conscious of what I spend. And I'm only human, so I did lose a few weeks of not cutting down my budget.
It's normal.
I'm starting back, right? So I'm starting back. So yeah, trying to pull back to basics, right?
I mean, regarding that, right? I mean, it's normal. Sometimes I skip recording myself also. I haven't been doing that for the past 2 months. I just kickstart back. It's perfectly normal. But what I find is that when we start to avoid that by not looking at it transparently, right? Somehow, subconscious mind, you are not feeling easy somehow because you don't have the clarity. I mean, especially if you have been have been doing it periodically. So, because I've been into behavioral finance in a while also, and recently I have been thinking how this discipline lifestyle change us, not just emotionally but financially. Have you realized, like, after you have consistently worked out, when you feel good about yourself, you are more hopeful towards the day, and then when you do things right, you are kind of like more energetic. Definitely. And you will try to be disciplined yourself throughout the day also. Yeah, rather than let yourself persuading yourself to spend on unnecessary thing, but you tell yourself, hey, actually today I feel good. Okay, let's do time management on time.
Yeah. I do agree. Yeah. I haven't been going to the gym in a while. I think I went to the gym was like a week ago. Yeah, so I need to kickstart as well. That one. I also feeling a bit slouchy already, like a couch potato. Yeah.
Yeah, it's normal. I think to me also it's about, because in life it's always about like you are bound to try something new, and then you're bound to fail, and you're bound to get back up.
Yes, correct.
And then try again. Yes. I would say just keep trying. I mean, as a financial consultant, I'm human as well. I am trying. I mean, I don't mind just share directly and very transparently. I am trying and error.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yes, correct. And once you get the correct momentum going, you're only going up and up.
Correct. Yeah. And one thing is that being transparent to yourself, like processing your thoughts every day, it does help.
Well, I don't do it every day.
So how frequent you do it?
At least once a week, right? Or especially after an emotional day, I guess, or something that requires a bit more attention. Yeah, like maybe planning a holiday as well. That takes time, and that takes up a lot of energy to properly evaluate, like, do I really need this? Do I really need to spend on this? Can I get a cheaper one?
Wow, okay. That's such a swift of mindset,
like adulting 101, man.
It's not easy, but
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's good. At least you are trying to budgeting yourself. It's always back to budget.
Yeah.
About self-love, what do you have to say about self-love? Some people will say that self-love equals to selfish. What's your thoughts about this?
They're not wrong, because you are choosing yourself over spending time with friends, over spending time with your partners, over spending time with your family as well. It's about making myself feel better, right? And purchasing other things, materialistic materials, to make me feel better. Yeah. And I'm also still in the progress of getting better or doing better, self-loving myself as well. Yeah.
So long as you keep it within a healthy, you gauge it properly,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Like
yes,
not
correct.
Jeopardizing other people.
Yes, correct. You're not like pushing your friends away all the way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Have to find that balance. It's hard to find that balance, but once you know how, you have to gauge how your friends perceive your self time as well. right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if they're unable to accept you not being able to come out and meet them, I will I will try to explain to them, hey, I just need to do this, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we can reschedule another time.
Yeah.
And knowing everybody has their own schedule, it's busy, but if we want to, or we are willing to make that sacrifice of time to meet up, it can happen. It can happen.
True. Actually, prioritizing does help. Like by knowing that, by prioritizing who's important, what things are important for me to do or to settle immediately, that's help. Yeah, because sometimes the journey of change, right, is not easy. Definitely, we bound to sacrifice something.
Yeah.
Or maybe sometimes with some of the outing times with our friends, like maybe from once a week to probably once every 2 weeks or once a month, if we find that we are in this financial difficulties, whereby we know that if we keep going in this way, right, it's not going to be sustainable, and your friends is not going to pay the bill for you.
Correct.
They're not going to pay the loan for you.
Correct.
And we really need to sit down and think, what would be the consequences if I hang out this time? How much averagely do I need to spend?
Yeah.
I would say averagely $50 and above for an outing.
Per outing. Yeah.
Per outing, yes.
Yeah.
I haven't counting Grab. If let's say have a drink until late night and you don't feel like, or even there's no MRT to take. So I think all this have to factor in.
Correct.
And from there we see how much we are actually affordable to spend. And I believe, right, if your friends is good enough to think from your point of view for your benefits, right, they definitely will understand.
Correct.
But first thing first, we must love ourselves. Like we must put like a stop line.
A boundary.
A boundary and just talk to them frankly. Oh, I'm actually having this financial difficulties. If you may, maybe next month we meet again. Yeah. I mean, deep down, we know that we still love them. And
correct.
We still appreciate them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to learn also. Yeah, to tell my friends that, oh, sorry, I'm too busy to do that. I need to have some time for myself to calm myself down. I mean, I'm someone who's very hard to say no as well.
Wine connection, Paya Lebar.
Yes. I have one interesting question for you.
Yeah.
If right now, if now that you have a special power where you can time travel back to 10 years ago today,
right,
what would you say to 19 years old Kevin?
Shit, you just exposed my age.
Sorry.
I would say don't change anything at that point in time, because
I love that.
I will need to learn, and if I don't have that maturity or that understanding during that time to know how to change as well, it will be no point. Right?
Yeah. You wouldn't be this version of yourself, right?
Maybe I would say don't overthink. Not too much. I only start to overthink when I joined nursing, to be honest. In a way, after I joined into nursing, right? When I was still in nursing school, I was a very happy-go-lucky person.
Why? Why after into...
I would say because when at work, you get a case, right? And you have this patient that come in with a certain symptoms. And then you will start to think about, okay, what this case might be and how bad can this patient become if there's no treatment given to the patient, right? So we start to think of we start to expect the outcome if we don't do certain things, right? So I think that's where I put that method into my life as well. Yeah. So I tend to be over prepared.
Okay.
Yeah. So in my head it was that over prepared is better than not prepared at all. Yeah.
Does this disturb you?
At times. Yeah. Yeah, at times. But I'm learning to chill a bit nowadays. Yeah. If I don't have to have, yeah.
Okay.
Starting to chill a bit. Not to overcomplicate things as well. Yeah. It's good to be prepared, but over preparing is just gonna eat me up. Yeah.
To me, I think everything there's pro and cons. Just a matter of perspective. Where do we see this thing? Overthink, I think if you overthink good thing, is good.
Yeah.
Not to overthink bad thing.
I tend to go the other way.
So I guess to me, I believe that every personalities, there's good and bad. Even if you say, oh, being kind seems like a good trait, but being too kind is not good as well.
Yeah.
Like someone who's impatient seems like not good, but if he put this impatience into something which is important, urgent, it suddenly become like, oh, a good trait.
It became justifiable for his impatience.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think the matter is to how should we switch our this impatience or overthinking from negative side to positive side, and to put it in the right place. Then it will become a right trait.
Yeah. Change of perspective as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Change of perspective. You see the world and then the world will change. If I were to tell 10 years ago me, I would pretty much choose the same. I wouldn't change a thing, or I wouldn't even regret of what I've been through. I would still choose to go through the same thing. Yeah, because that's what makes me who I am today, right?
Correct.
So to actually wrap up today's dialogue, right? I would say that from your journey, what I learned or inspired from your journey, right, is in fact, I mean, from a financial consultant point of view, I've met quite a number of people as well.
Yeah.
But not many of them are actually willing to stand up and tell me, Candy, I need help. Candy, I'm so vulnerable right now. Yeah, because I would say 80% of them are telling me that I'm okay, I'm fine. Especially youngsters. I'm nothing, I'm good. I'm getting fixed pay. So even if I want to travel next month, if I were to spend 8,000, 10,000, it's into my savings, it's okay. I'm still going to get paid next month. But it just creates this spiral moment, like what you said.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. I mean, it's really hardening for me to see that, wow, you really stood up and you really admit that you need help. And that's when it makes me even realize the importance of myself in doing this to help you. Yeah. And also to help you realize, like, you also realize the importance of how to make yourself feel better, how to love yourself more. And then it's easier when you're handling your own finances because you have to make yourself feel good, feel better before you even start to deal with yourself. Yeah.
I think the most important was to have that courage to take the first step.
Yeah.
You know, in a way, for the longest time, I was in a very comfort zone, you know, if you can put it. Yeah, so I was in a comfort zone and in a bubble. So I was in a bubble and I was not willing to break that bubble to get out of that zone because of how comfortable I am, right? In that situation, in that area. So, and when I needed help, I wasn't brave enough to pop that bubble, right? And it took me a while, you know, before I mustered up the courage to actually tell our friend, hey, I think I need someone.
Which I'm really, really proud of you. I mean, seeing you, how you transform.
Thank you.
Just 1 year. Actually, it takes only 1 year, or I would say it's only takes like one day or this moment to change a person.
I would say it didn't took me one day. It took me a while. Took me a while. But the important is that I need to realize, you know, to realize that I needed help, to realize that I couldn't do it alone, and to realize that I made the wrong choices and I had to take accountability for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
And one last thing. What would be the one thing that you would start to change today onwards? Just one thing that you would like to change or do to be a even better person moving forward?
I think it is controlling my emotions. Yeah. controlling my emotions towards something that is not good, something that is complicated, right? And not to be quick to judge. Because in my line, there are a lot of people, or we are easy to judge, quick to judge, right?
Yeah.
And we tend to paint a picture in our head before hearing their side of the story. And I'm trying to reduce that, listen to what they have to say first, listen to their situation, and then from then on, think about how I can help or how they need help, for things that I can provide, right? Yeah.
Good. I'll look forward to your new transformation soon.
Thank you very much,
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Yay! Thank you for being part of this incredible dialogue. We hope this episode has inspired you to embrace heart-to-heart dialogue in your own life. If you love to share your stories with us, DM us, comment below, or use the hashtag HTHD stories. Your voice matters, and we can't wait to listen and learn from you. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe and share this episode with your friends. Remember, every genuine conversation has the power to make a difference. Let's make an impact together. Till next time.